So my wife and I have already hit our coast-fire number at the age of 26 and 27. And today I'm going to show you exactly what that means and how we came to calculate it. And I'm also going to talk about how we managed to achieve this as two nurses here in Queensland, Australia. Most people think financial freedom is about retiring early, but it's very individualized and it's very up to personal preference. So the version of financial independence that I'm going to talk about today is much more achievable. It's called Coast Fire. It's when you've saved enough and invested enough to the point where if you stopped adding money today, your investments would still grow to fund your retirement. And that's exactly where my wife and I are right now. It's one of the 5 types of the FIRE movement, and FIRE stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And the different types of FIRE are Lean FIRE, Coast FIRE, Fat FIRE, Barista FIRE, and Slow FIRE. But unlike traditional FIRE, Coast Fire doesn't mean you just quit your job. It simply means that you have enough invested that with time and compounding, your future retirement is basically handled. And therefore you can just coast until the finish line. In other words, you've financially secured your retirement, even if you started spending every dollar of your paycheck from now on. The reason why this concept matters is that it gives you a goal in the form of a measurable number. And once you've achieved that goal, it takes all the pressure off. And I can honestly say that once my wife and I realized we had already surpassed this number, a huge financial weight had been lifted off our shoulders. You don't have to grind endlessly to reach some huge FIRE number. Coast Fire gives you the permission to slow down. And then you can take a job that you actually like. You could work fewer hours and enjoy life a little bit more. I myself haven't started working less hours, but it has given me the peace of mind to stop trying so hard in my career and to try and build a life where I can work at something that I actually enjoy. The way I see it is that it's the middle ground between being financially free and building wealth, but instead of hustling in the rat race to work uphill, you're coasting to the finish line. So here's how I worked it out. We started by asking ourselves, how much would we need to comfortably live in retirement? Having a look at our current budget and also taking inflation into consideration, we estimated around $70,000 per year, which is a little bit higher than some, but it's enough for us to travel, to have a little bit of a lifestyle and to be comfortable, but not being too excessive. So we have that 70 grand as a figure that we want to have available to us as expenditure every year in our retirement. Now I need to talk about the 4% rule. The 4% rule is a popular guideline used in a lot of retirement planning, and it's to estimate how much you can safely withdraw from your investment portfolio each year without running out of money. The idea is you can withdraw 4% of your total investments in the first year of retirement and then adjust that amount each year for inflation. The rule is based on historical market performance, and it assumes that your money is invested and it's diversified, that over time your investments continue to grow and they can sustain those withdrawals over a 30-year period. In short, it's a simple way to figure out how much you need to retire. So for us, if we want to retire with 70 grand per year in retirement, we need to aim for around $1.75 million invested, because 4% of 1.75 million is 70 grand. So the figures we have so far is the 70 grand we need per year to retire. And that 70 grand is 4% of $1.75 million, which we would need to be able to do that. So from here, I just used a simple compound interest calculator with a conservative 6% annual return. Now, typically my investments have done better than that, but we're going conservative here and on the safe side. And from there, I just looked at how much we would need invested today to grow to $1.75 million by the time we're 55. So as you can see here, if I had $330,000 invested over a 28-year period, which would bring me to age 55, at a conservative growth amount of 6% and with no more regular investments, so I'm not contributing any more money to this, my total wealth by age 55 would be $1.76 million, which puts my wife and I just over that FIRE number. Now, if you want a link to this compound interest calculator, it's going to be included in the description below. So if you've been following our net worth updates, the last one I posted was at the start of October. You would know that between our house equity, our investment accounts, cash savings, we've already surpassed that figure well and truly, which means we have hit our Coast Fire number. My wife and I started doing all the heavy lifting when we were really young, saving, investing, and working hard. And now at the age of 27, we can relax and let compounding do its thing. A bit of a financial background on us. We're both registered nurses here in Queensland, Australia, and our incomes are fairly similar, although mine has had an increase recently because I've taken a new position. Between the two of us, we earn around $5,500 to $6,000 per fortnight. Plus, we've had a tenant renting out one of the rooms in our house for over the last couple of years, and that brings us about $250 per week. We've always lived fairly simply. We track our budget closely, we automate our finances, we funnel any extra cash we have into our mortgage offset account, and that consistently over time has really built us a financial foundation. And because of all this, we've been able to achieve our Coast Fire number. How we achieved this is that we scraped and saved when we were young, and were able to save up our first house deposit by the age of 21 and 22. So our first ever investment was actually building the house that I'm sitting in right now. Ever since then, it hasn't been pretty, it hasn't been glamorous, but we've just been doing little consistent things like paying off our mortgage, putting money into stocks, building up our offset account. And over time, our investments have grown. The equity in this house has exploded, and we've done all of this while having a decent amount of fun along the way. It really does feel surreal to hit this number. We're not rich by any means, but we've reached a point now where we don't have to panic about money anymore. Knowing our retirement is essentially handled gives us the freedom to focus on the things that really matter, like our health, family, relationships, doing things that we really love, like walking the dog. Now, what's next for us? Hitting Coast Fire doesn't mean that we're done by any means. We're still investing, but it has given us the freedom to explore new ways to grow, like building simple income streams through YouTube and other business ideas. The difference now is that we're doing it from a place of financial security and a lot of peace of mind, rather than stressing about money in the long term. Our long-term goal is to keep it simple, like we always have, keep investing, keep paying off the mortgage, and create a lifestyle where we can control our time. That's really what Coast Fire is all about. It's about freedom and flexibility. So if you're just starting your financial journey, Coast Fire might be the most realistic and achievable goal for you to aim for. You don't need to retire early. You just need to build enough early on so that your money does the work for you. Tell me if you guys are tracking. I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you want me to make a video breaking down any of the other FIRE movements, also just let me know down in the comments. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe for me, it really helps out the channel. My net worth update for November is coming next video, so stay tuned. And as always, good luck on your wealth building journey.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, you should click here. No, because YouTube thinks you'll like this video. You should click it. No, but seriously. Come on, why haven't you clicked yet?